Drilling and producing unconventional hydrocarbons is, of course, one of the main drivers of today's oil industry. And that involves hydraulic fracturing and horizontal drilling. So anything that can bring the costs down on these operations through technology and operations is of value to our industry. Hi, I'm Mike Killaleo with drillingcontractor.org. I'm here at the 2018 SPE Annual Technology Conference and Exhibition. I'm here with Gabe Casanova, who's good enough to take the time to visit with us on the Spectre LT, which is a new brand and a new breed of disintegrating frac plug. Gabe, thanks a lot for taking the time to visit with drillingcontractor.org today. So can you give our listeners some background on what is the role of a frac plug in hydraulic fracturing or anything else?
Okay, thanks Mike. Yeah, absolutely. So the frac plug is essentially used in an operation called plug and perf. And the way it works is you will run a plug down into a horizontal wellbore. You'll set it, you'll perforate above that, you'll pop some holes in the casing essentially. Then you will remove that assembly from the hole, drop a ball from surface, and what happens is it lands inside the plug, and once it lands, it diverts the proppant and the fracture into the perforations above. So basically you'll just repeat that process over and over as many times as the operator would like.
Okay, thanks. And normally, what happens with the frac plug? You don't want to just leave it there, right? So what's a conventional way of removing it?
Yeah, so the conventional way, the way plug and perf has historically worked is that you would run a number of composite plugs in the wellbore, following the same process, and then once the fracture is complete, you would have to go back in with coiled tubing or with a workover rig, and you have to drill all these plugs up. And it can take a number of days, and of course, time is money in oil and gas. So we went and developed a disintegrating frac plug. Ours is the Spectre. And what's unique about the latest version is it's a lower temperature version. So it's been around for a couple years, the Spectre plug, and it's traditionally been in the above 250, 275 range, run up a lot in like the Bakken formation. But this plug was designed for applications from 100 to 200. So it took quite a bit of time with our materials science teams, but they cracked it. Now we're off and running with the low temp Spectre to get in the Permian.
Wow, it's pretty exciting. So can you share any of the details of the materials science, and then what is the mechanism for the disintegration, Gabe?
Absolutely. So it's very kind of one of the things that's most important would be temperature. So in a nutshell, the higher the temperature, the faster it'll disintegrate. And the other part that plays a major role, it's got a lot to do with what's in the fluid. One of the main drivers is chlorides. So what'll happen is traditionally you'll frack the well, and then once the well starts to flow, corrosive fluid comes out of the formation with a lot of chlorides and a number of other things that initiate the disintegration.
Okay, and what's your field experience been like? I know the low temperature one is pretty new. It's just out in the field now in the Permian. How's it doing?
It's doing very well. We've got some installs in the Permian, the Utica, the Marcellus Shale, the Oklahoma area. So it's making its way around the country and performing very well. We've got a couple wells where they use it just at the bottom of the well, called a toe application, so you don't have to drill out the very end. And we have several customers who are doing full well bores to eliminate having to drill out composite plugs.
And in terms of time savings, having the device disintegrate rather than take it out, drill it out conventionally, I mean, I realize it takes 24, 36 hours to disintegrate, but what's the overall time savings, would you estimate, Gabe?
So a lot of times the number of plugs plays a big role, but some areas they're running plugs that'll take 2 to 3 days for them to get to the bottom of the well, drill them all out, and remove all the plug debris. But with disintegrating plugs, after you've given them time to disintegrate, you only need workover rig or coil on location. It'll go in and out in a day, right? They just want to clean out the sand that's down there, but you don't really have to go and drill out plugs anymore. That's been eliminated.
Okay, well, thanks a lot. It's a fascinating product, and we appreciate you spending some time with us, Gabe. Thanks to you all for listening. Come back often to drillingcontractor.org. Bye.